So we recently got off of our Celebrity Edge cruise, and so we thought that we would do a little bit of a recap, talk about some of the pros and the cons of the ship. We also recently got off of the Norwegian Bliss, or I say recently loosely, in November, and so I feel like that cruise is still kind of fresh in our mind as well, and we have a lot of comparisons between the two. So if you're considering one of those two cruises, definitely follow along for what our opinion is. We traveled with 3 young kids, which I feel like most cruisers don't do, so kind of listen to what we have to say, heed our advice.
Norwegian Bliss cruise was a 14-day Panama Canal cruise that we went in back in November. This is March right now. We got off the Celebrity Edge a few weeks ago. So that one's a little bit more fresh in our mind, but we spent more time on the Norwegian Bliss. So we had a little bit more time to explore the ship, and with kids, we kind of needed to do it slowly. So I do feel like we had more of an opportunity to enjoy that ship than the Celebrity Edge. So that's just like a little disclaimer.
So to begin, our Celebrity Edge cruise was a Caribbean cruise. It went to San Juan, St. Martin, and then Tortola, the British Virgin Islands. We have a visitor.
Sorry, the baby was crying, so I had to grab him. He'll join us.
Yeah, he has a lot of opinions about it, I'm sure. So diving into the cruise itself, I am going to discuss kind of the things that I know that we consider whenever we're looking at booking a cruise, and probably things that most others consider as well. The first thing I want to talk about, the most important thing in my opinion, is the food. So I am an extremely picky eater, and I just like had kind of a hard time eating, I felt like, on this cruise. I did not feel like the food was up to like hype at all. And we were with a group of 11, and I never once heard anybody be like, that was the best meal, that was so great, I loved that. Like, I felt like each meal that we walked away from, we kind of were like not fully satisfied. And I feel like pretty happy to please. Like, we always joke that like we're the lowest maintenance people, but like the biggest tippers. The buffet was set up in a little bit of a different fashion, and I guess on other Celebrity Edge or Celebrity cruises, it's kind of like set up in a similar way. It's not like a line, it's more like stations. And I thought that setup worked really well. I didn't feel like I was ever like in a line for too long, or it was like crowded and just kind of crazy. Like, I felt like the flow worked really well.
I really enjoyed the buffet. It was probably one of my favorite buffets of any cruise ship I've been on. The food was just so good. Caroline might disagree, but I just enjoyed the food. I enjoyed the lack of crowds. Always seating seemed like it was always available.
So I didn't think the buffet was like particularly great. They had just kind of your basic stuff. All of the desserts it was like basically cake. So it was like all these different cakes every day, and you had to like cut a slice of cake.
Sometimes they had artisan cheeses and crackers that were really good. And they have specials every day, something different. And once they had fish and chips, that was delicious. And once they had a shrimp cocktail, that was to die for. So I mean, there's some good food. I mean, I enjoyed it.
Or every single day, I had like all I could find to eat was a steak.
Caroline only really eats steak and chicken.
Yeah, I only eat steak and chicken, so. I was always hungry. And how do you go on a cruise and you're like always hungry? But I felt like I was having to like scavenge for like food. And we were in the retreat area, and it was like the tea time food was just scones and like a little bit of crackers. Like, it was just every single day. It was, maybe they would like change up the sandwiches, but like the sandwiches weren't ever even like very good. The desserts were kind of like okay, but like the same thing every single day. And I thought it was really interesting being in a suite that they did not deliver tea time to us. Like, the whole point was you were supposed to go to the retreat to get it, and we were right next to it, but a lot of those suites aren't on the same floor as the retreat, so like people would have to come up, which is fine because that's like where the free alcohol is or whatever. But I don't know, I found that a little bit annoying versus on the Norwegian Bliss, where every single day like we were delivered so much food. We were delivered fresh fruit, we were delivered like desserts at night if we wanted.
Hors d'oeuvres, cookies.
Yes, and probably if we had just asked our butler, we could have been delivered things, but I didn't really feel like it was like an option.
It was definitely an option. We just, I mean, I guess we didn't really know what to ask for, but it was nice on the Norwegian Bliss that they would just bring us stuff that we just wouldn't have thought to ask for otherwise. Yeah, I just really enjoyed it. It's like a little surprise every day.
So the restaurants that we ate at was like the buffet, obviously. Lumine, which is the Sweet Class restaurant. And we ate there for lunch one time and then dinner, I think 3 times. The steakhouse, the Fine Steakhouse, Le Petit Chef, and Ron 5, and
there's a restaurant that we're not thinking of that we ate the last day. There
was one in Eden as well, but we just went there for cocktails. We didn't go there for actual food. So what was your reaction to the steakhouse? First of all, Blake got risotto at the steakhouse. And
well, I had steak the night before. It was a stressful evening. I'm sure you could tell by watching the video of that night. But the kids just weren't cooperating. We were like 15-20 minutes late, and so everyone's already kind of getting their food. And Shepard, on the way down, Shepard pushed all the buttons on the elevator, and it was super crowded. And it's just like everyone got really annoyed. I forgot the camera, so I had to go back and get it. And it was just a lot of different things together.
A comedy of errors, for sure. The first night, the Rooftop Grill. Yeah. That's where we ate the first night, and they had like buffalo wings, I think.
It was smoked buffalo wings.
Those were actually really so good. Like I thought the garden or the Rooftop Grill was really good. I thought the food was really good, but it was so windy. It was almost like, I mean, there was nobody else eating there, I don't think. Maybe like one other table.
Yeah.
It was so
It was windy. That first night, no one was on the top deck really. If you watch the video of us walking around, it was just us on the top deck.
So that probably would have been my favorite meal if it just hadn't been so windy. And it was like, also because it was outside, it just wasn't lit very well. And so I was having a really hard time seeing, and I don't wear glasses or anything like that. I just like thought it was too dark. It was also too windy, but the food was good. Le Petit Chef, the show was so cool, definitely worth going to. That was probably my second favorite meal, and it was because the steak was just like literally cooked and so much better. And I'm not used to like having the steak cooked like that. So I liked that, but other members in the party did not like that. And I thought the portions were so small. I left hungry, even though it was like a 3 or 4 course meal. And we had my birthday dinner there, and I had birthday cake, and I still left hungry.
What are you doing?
Hi.
Are you playing with your ice cream truck? The camera battery died, so I just replaced it.
So we just got done talking about Le Petit Chef, and so Lumine, steak every night. Bread service, not on top of their game. I like offered 1 roll. I felt like where I was wanting multiple rolls.
I was satisfied with my rolls.
Okay, okay, so like Savannah, our daughter, 4-year-old daughter, got macaroni and cheese one night. And I mean, that was the highlight of Lemonade, was that macaroni and cheese. It was like delicious, gourmet. Whoever made it, it was like mwah. But then whenever she got it another night, it was like completely different. So one of the highlights of like mealtime was that mac and cheese. Like the entire table passed it around and ate on that, which is kind of funny.
All right, while we're on the subject of kids at the restaurants, the Norwegian Bliss, what they did really well on the Norwegian Bliss is every meal they provided little coloring crayons and little coloring sheets for the kids with kids menus. The kids, they were occupied with that pretty well. I mean, not perfectly, but at least the Norwegian Bliss was trying to do something. Celebrity Edge, they really didn't have anything like that. And some meals, they didn't even have kids menus.
Or high chairs, like, yeah, so in the buffet, like every single time we ate in the buffet, I had to go literally scout out my own high chair. Like, go back, I went like back behind a barrier because there was just like nobody. I felt like there was nobody to ask. And on the Norwegian, I felt like as soon as I walked in, they were like stalking me, seeing where I was going with the high chair. Ron 5, they were actually like very child friendly. They like loved coming up and talking to us, and they were, I really liked that restaurant, and it was seafood. And I thought the food was good there.
Oh yeah.
Actually, now that I think about it, I forgot what I
had. I had a sushi roll, it was delicious. We had some sake. It was really good. I love sake. Yeah, it was really good. I probably would have liked to have eaten there another time if the opportunity came up because it was so good.
If I had to rate the overall dining experience of the Celebrity Edge out of a 10, like I would honestly probably give it a 3. as the Norwegian Bliss, I would give 10 out of a 10.
I would say Norwegian Bliss was probably 9 or 10. I would say Celebrity Edge is 7 or 8. The food was good. There were some misses, but just like one of the things I loved about the Norwegian Bliss, I don't know if you talked about it, but the waterfront had restaurants outside. You could eat outside on the waterfront with like almost every restaurant. But yeah, it's just nice to have the option to sit outside and like look at the water while you eat and watch the sunset. The restaurants on the Celebrity Edge were just all spread out, kind of harder to find. It's not really that much of a con, but I really just enjoyed on the Norwegian Bliss how they were all kind of together, and they had each restaurant had that great view and the option for you to sit there.
Okay, so that was a little bit about our dining experience. So we kind of were, you know, a little bit negative about the food, but more negative about it being like kid friendly or not, which for most people cruising wouldn't be an issue. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to discuss was the spa, because for me that's a huge part. I didn't go to the spa on the Norwegian Bliss, but I was most looking forward to going to the spa on the Celebrity Edge. And I thought, being a suite class member, you got access to the thermal suite, and like the thermal suite was all like hyped up and looked just absolutely amazing to me. And I have to say, I think that the like thermal suite situation that we went to on like the Disney Wonder was better than what this one was, and I'll tell you why. So first of all, being a suite guest, we had to pay for it, and I didn't realize we had to pay for it, so there was only like 3 or 4 days left, and I went ahead and bought the 4-day pass. So I went in on the first day, and nobody explained to me how to do anything. Nobody, I mean, like, I felt like she was so rushed. She barely even showed me the locker room. I was like, do I wear a robe? Do I not? Maybe I'm not familiar with like spa etiquette, but I was like so confused. I didn't even know like how to walk in. They were just so rushed to get in there. And so once I was in there and was kind of trying to like figure out where to start, what to do, an alarm started going off, and it was so loud. I mean, and so finally I was like, oh my gosh, like something is wrong. And so I went to investigate, and there was just like crew everywhere, and there seemed to be like water coming from, I don't know, and they were like mopping it everywhere, and it was just like chaos. And like the alarm, I bet the alarm went off for 25 minutes. Like I just was like sitting through it, but it was like annoying that I had bought this pass, and then it was like that day was kind of like, it was like the most unrelaxing day. I mean, I braved through it because I was like, I bought this pass, I'm going to like just sit here, you know, and ignore the alarm because I want to try this float chair and go in the sauna and the hammam or whatever it's called. Also, the spa staff, there were 2 ladies that worked the main desk that I saw at all times, and they were like very friendly, very nice, very overwhelmed. It was pretty crazy in that spa.
I'll just give you a quick recap of my experience in the spa. I kind of had a similar experience. They dropped me off to like undress and all that in the locker areas. I didn't really know that I needed to leave and go in the waiting room after, but I kind of figured that out on my own. But I had a massage, zero gravity massage.
Yeah, he got one of the specialty massages.
It was very nice. Then I had the facial, which was super nice too. And
just like a men's facial.
Yeah, it actually inspired me. I think I'm going to try to get facials more often. I just love the way my skin looked afterwards. One thing that's like kind of off-putting is they try to sell you things.
They make you sound like you have your body is falling apart.
Every single one of us that used the spa, and we were all like, they told us all about how terrible our skin was or our muscles are, and we need all these products. Went in with the mindset of I'm not gonna like buy anything, but they almost like trick you and make you like, you're like, okay, so we got this and this and this. Okay, let me go get your card and I can check it out for you. It's almost, you have to pay attention or they'll just like charge your card and you'll buy that stuff without realizing. So yeah, just if you want to go, just make sure if you want the product, buy it, but if you don't, then kind of be a little persistent.
Like go in prepared.
Yeah.
Prepared. I got the thermal suite pass. I got a massage. It was like on stone or on kind of like, I guess like, sand. It was kind of on like warm sand. And then I also got a facial, and she was acting like I had like the worst back she'd ever seen in her life, that I had to buy all these products. And I was like, oh my gosh, like really, am I in that bad of shape? And it's like, I know that I'm not.
Every single person in our party had the same story.
Least relaxing facial, ever in history. Not that facials are ever like that relaxing. And it was like she spent so much time on extractions that she put like 3 lotions on and I was done. She tried to sell me everything. She tried to sell me this eye cream that was like $130 and...
Did you buy it?
I may have. But I didn't know the price until after, which, I mean, obviously I should have asked, but it was my 30th birthday. I was just like, oh, the eye cream. Your skin is so bad.
Don't let them force you into buying the products. Is the bottom line. If you don't want to buy them, then make sure that you're adamant about not buying them. Kind of maybe be upfront. Maybe wait till after the service is over. That way they can still give you like a good service and might think that you're going to pay for something extra.
Well, they do it after. They like evaluate and bring in a card and like consult with you. Don't
tell them that you don't want to buy product until after the service has been provided. That way they'll give you the best service.
Okay, something I was gonna say and that I forgot to mention about the thermal suite was it was so crowded. Another
tip that the masseuse told me was if you do book a massage at the spa, do it as early as possible because people get tired later in the day and the massages just aren't as good, but they're better in the mornings.
Okay, so I went to the fitness center in the spa every single day, and I've gone now to the fitness center on all the cruises that we've been on, and this one was by far my favorite. I was so impressed. They had every type of equipment. I never felt like it was too crowded because it was so large.
Taking a little break to give the baby some Cheerios.
No, okay, we're out of Cheerios. So actually Lucky Charms because it's almost St. Patrick's Day.
He's needing our attention and we're not done filming the video.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about the suite life. As soon as we got there, we were escorted to a private area with our own private security. You know, that was nice being escorted onto the ship, but then it was like we weren't shown around at all. The retreat lounge itself, we were in there like 10 minutes and a man fell and hurt himself because they kept bumping their heads on the light fixtures because they were low. There was never just like plain black coffee. So the retreat, they had like breakfast and then like tea time. And the breakfast was just kind of like your standard croissants. They had like these parfait things and kind of like a little bit of like a meat and cheese spread. For tea time, it was like a sandwich, and then dessert, they were just like so basic. It wasn't anything fancy. Whereas on the Norwegian Bliss in the Haven, there was like that whole extremely nice lounge. There were like 2 lounges in that area. And like the snacks and everything there were just so good.
The Wi-Fi on the Celebrity Edge was amazing. The Wi-Fi on the ship was great, better than any cruise I've ever been on.
Yes.
You could stream videos, it was just so nice.
The Norwegian Blisses, the Wi-Fi was like means work. Those serving us were very, very nice and very, very friendly, but I didn't feel like they like went up and beyond, whereas on the Norwegian Bliss, that butler went like, we were like so spoiled by him.
I feel like our butler on the Celebrity Edge was wonderful too. Like both butlers were great and they both went above and beyond, and anything we asked for they provided, you know. I've gotten Caroline flowers for her birthday every year, and so I wanted to do it this year too, and I asked the butler and he brought a beautiful bouquet of flowers for her for her birthday.
Yes.
I don't think I filmed that, but that was just so cool.
Okay, so now we're gonna talk about what the Celebrity Edge was like with kids. We have 3 kids, aged 4, 2, and then 11 months. The things that I thought that were really good for kids was that, like we said, that the Wi-Fi service was so good. Well, the TV actually had kind of like an on-demand, and I don't think that you have to pay for it if you're a suite guest, but maybe you do in other rooms, I'm not sure. But there was basically every movie except for Boss Baby, which is their current favorite, so they were a little disappointed about that, but they had like every kids movie ever, and they had a really good movie selection. We didn't use the kids club at all. Our 2-year-old and our 11-month-old were too young, and our daughter wasn't really interested in going. I heard somebody say that there were 30 children on board. Also, we inquired about using a babysitting service. Whenever we were making arrangements to get on board, they told us that there was a babysitting service, and so we arranged that with the concierge, and just for the night of my birthday, and I guess there has to be 2. I don't know if there has to be like 2 regardless of how many kids there are, or if there has to be 1 for each child. There was a male and a female. The female was from the kids club. The other one it was a man who worked in the retreat, and we weren't gone long. I think that our kids were happy, and I think that they did a good job. They weren't able to babysit Saxon. That worked out great. That was fine. It was, I think, $40 for like 2 hours.
But I kind of feel like I wish we would have brought the kids to La Petite Chef, because I think at least Savannah would have really enjoyed it. Shepard might have got bored with it maybe, but I kind of wish we would have like just not done the babysitter and brought him to that and used the babysitter on a different night.
Yeah.
But
so as far as being a family-friendly cruise, not at all. Which we knew.
Not at all for kids under 3 that can't take advantage of the kids club area. And so it didn't really make sense just to take Savannah there but still watch the other kids. And since Savannah wasn't interested in the kids club, we didn't even worry about taking her. But I bet if you had kids that were of age to go to the kids club, and they wanted to go, I'm sure it was great fun, because Savannah had a great time at the Splash Academy on the Norwegian Bliss. She loved it.
Yeah, we went up to the rooftop garden area on the last day, and I was like, why weren't we doing this the whole time? Because there was like so much room for them to run and play and like lounge if we wanted to. And so if you are traveling with young kids, I would like recommend going and getting a spot up there. Whenever we had the cabana by the pool, of course that was an extra charge, but that was like a really good idea with kids. There was like plenty of room to spread out and then like still go get in the pool. They have life jackets on board, which was really nice for swimming with the kids, because I didn't have to worry about like packing floaties. There wasn't much to do for them, whereas on the Norwegian Bliss there was there's like a whole little water park and like putt-putt and bowling, and the Edge doesn't have any of that, which of course we knew. Yeah. It was mostly just get in the stroller and let's go explore.
And that was one of the big differences between the Edge and the Bliss, is like the things to do for entertainment. On the Edge, it was just really like the bars and live music and maybe comedy, and there was those little shows. The Bliss had that as well, but they also had like the awesome water slides, the go-kart racetrack, the miniature golf, the bowling, arcade stuff. It's just like so much more entertainment things to do. But maybe that's not like what you're into. So if you're into more of the kind of just relaxing and drinking and seeing the beautiful art and the beautiful ship and everything, then the Edge is probably a good option for you. But if you want more of an entertainment aspect and features like that, then I would probably suggest the Bliss. So now that we've given you a little recap of our Celebrity Edge cruise and the Norwegian Bliss and the differences, the pros and cons, what we liked, what we didn't like, now what everyone is waiting for. Is Caroline impressed?
Oh, Blake's trying to find his coffee while I answer this question. So I was impressed as an adult, wanting an adults only vacation. Yes, I would be extremely impressed. As an adult with children, I knew what to expect, so I'm not going in saying, oh, it was terrible, and I knew what it was gonna be like and the work it was going to entail. But I have to say, like on the Norwegian Bliss, I kept thinking, this is perfect. This is great. They're going above and beyond. This is amazing. And so I gave it like a 10 out of 10. I had like really no complaints. Whereas this one, I do have a few complaints about it. I think there's better cruise ships. I do. I think there's better cruise ships. I think it's pretty. I think it's pretty.
Keep in mind though that we did have more time on the Norwegian Bliss to enjoy the stuff. Also, we were with a big group on the Celebrity Edge, and so we couldn't really just, if we needed time to just relax with the kids, we couldn't really necessarily do that because we were also entertaining and trying to, you know, spend time with everyone. And on the Norwegian Bliss, if we wanted to like take a morning and just relax, or take an afternoon and let the kids nap, we kind of did that. We went on our own schedule, and we didn't do that as much on the Celebrity Edge, which I think that kind of affected our feelings of the ship a little bit.
So am I impressed with the Celebrity Edge? Kind of. Am I impressed with the Celebrity Edge with kids? No. Am I impressed with the look of it and the style of it? Yes, I thought it was really cool in that sense. Whereas the Norwegian Bliss, I'm like, every category, like yes, 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 yes.
I would say Norwegian Bliss beats it out in every category except like the wow factors of the ship. The Celebrity Edge kind of has that nailed down. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you got to see all our cruise videos. Hope you enjoyed them. If you want to keep following along on our future trips and vacations, we're going to Disney in April too. We have a lot of trips planned. We're always traveling, always doing fun stuff. Feel free to subscribe. If this video is helpful, give it a thumbs up. And if you have any questions about either cruise ship or anything, we don't know everything, but we can help you, give you some of our experience and our feedback from what we personally experienced, especially with the kids. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a great day. And if you go on a cruise, I hope you have the best time possible.